Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I am here with the last day of 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life, our extra special day 31 exclusive sketch by Jennifer Gagne, I think Gagne, and it is a fun layout. I have selected this one picture of my dad and my kids, and I am going to be using Spectrum Sherbert by 49 and Market. And this is one of my favorite collections. I have a hard time using it because I love it so much, but I've got some papers and some scraps already pulled out, and I've pulled some of the ephemera that I'm considering using already pulled out since I'm going with that circular bits instead of the florals. And I have some little banners or tags already pulled out for those little bits on the side as well. And then some other odds and ends, word phrases. I've got my little bubbles and bobbles, some tags. I don't use any of those. And these little bits from the ephemera, which are really cool, like torn paper. And I don't use those rub-ons, but I do have those pulled out, and then some other different this and that. So I pulled all that stuff out of my collection, and so I've got my papers and my ephemera and this really special picture and this really cool sketch. So let's see how this goes. So first things first, I wanted to make all those layers of paper. Now you'll notice up at the top left corner, the sketches up there, and it's on its side because my picture's that way. Really everything else is pretty much going to be where it belongs on the layout. I just tilted it that way originally because I knew that I would be using this picture, and it was going to be horizontal instead of vertical. So I am just using the yellow and that teal. I also am going to bring in a strip of orange to add a little pop of color back there, to not really give it any more dimension, just add another layer of color. And so I get that in there, and then I'm going to be very fancy and like dig my thumbnail in there to where I want to cut that, and then just cut that with some scissors because I want it to be a rectangle. I don't want it to be sticking out in different places. I want that picture in the middle to be the focal point without being too in your face. So I get all of that down and attached with my Scotch tape runner. And then I'm going to move that aside while I figure out the rest of my layout. I decided to use some of those little like notebook paper tabs and tuck those in here to add those colors. So I've got a hot pink one, and I think there's an orange one maybe over there on the right side. So I'm debating between these two papers, and I love the other one that's got the watermark drippings and the circle in the middle, but I really like this one. I feel like it's going to be the most fitting. My paper in places is white, that background matte, so I decided I'm going to ink the whole thing. I thought I might use that little branding strip to separate it from the background paper, but decided to use whatever ink is on this dauber. I think it's salvaged patina. I couldn't swear to it, but it's something in that color family. Salvage patina, I think, is usually the one that I use that's in that lighter aqua color. So I've pulled the banners out and I'm separating them by color because I don't want a bunch of them, like 2 or 3 of the same color together. I do want to have, all of the different colors, like the white and the yellow, the teal, the pink. Those are my predominant colors. I believe I pull in a little bit of yellow. But first I want to tap out some ink. And I think the ink I decided was abandoned coral. I should have written that down, you all. And then I do believe I bring in the Calypso teal or something to bring in that pop of the teal color. And I may have actually brought in a shimmer spray in orange. See, this is what I get for waiting to record days after I've completed a layout. This is why I normally record the day of after I'm done, because I've probably done 5 layouts or 6 layouts since I did this one, and I can't remember. So, bless. Anywho, so I'm going to lay these banners out, and I'm trying to decide where I want them. I do want to put them in similar places to where they have them in the sketch, but really it's just a matter of one on each side. And I want to have a word phrase on the right top and the right side, or the right bottom towards the right, so that I can use those word phrase ones. Obviously, I can't use the word phrase on the other side because it would be upside down, or I wouldn't have the banner part, and I think that looks silly. So I decided to just have the word phrase on the top and then on the right side. And so I just find some words that are fitting. Now, the first one I put up there says sweet, and I think the other one that I put on there says something about love or love this or something like that. This picture is the last picture that I know of that was taken of my dad before he passed. This was a Friday night. We were going to be loading up the next morning to head back to our home from our beach house at, the house that we rented at the beach over spring break. And so this is Friday, and my dad passed away the following Thursday, and extremely unexpectedly. So this is him sitting on the couch. My daughter's all snuggled up next to him in a very normal place because the two of them were inseparable. And then my son is laying on her. And I think he's snuggling one of his stuffed animals, maybe Tigger, I think. So I just thought this was such a sweet picture that my aunt took of them. And it has obviously proven to be, special. So that's why I decided to round out the 31 days with this picture, because I've been working on 2018, which was a hard year. And so a lot of my 31 days of sketches have been emotionally challenging layouts, because either they've been of that time or they've been, us recovering or trying to, process. So anyway, while I was talking, I decided, like I said in the beginning, I'm using circles instead of florals to make those embellishment clusters. And I've added little rings on the top left and the bottom. Since I did not have words on them, I put them right in the middle. The ring has a word phrase on it, and then there is a little piece in the middle. And I'm just adding some of the little baubles from this collection. And then on the ones that have the words, I use those little arrows that came from the collection as well, and just kind of point towards the picture. Because obviously I'm saying this picture is sweet, and I love this meaning this picture. So I'm debating on using some of these word phrases. I kind of faffed about trying to decide if I wanted to put anything on the actual picture. But once I was looking at it, decided that this one right here was fitting, because I think it says something about life being better with you in it or something like that, which I felt was, it was fitting no matter what, because life is definitely better with my dad in it, but, it made it even more fitting. And then this one at the top says pure happiness, and they were definitely happier than they had been in a long time in this, moment in time, because like I said, we're at a beach house, but my dad had just lost his sister, and we had been through an extremely emotional year with my daughter already, and my son has had medical issues most of his life, so we were just kind of battling. So I've decided to put my title here where it says love you instead of up there on the top. I felt like this was a better place for it than sitting up at the top. And so I did tuck those little like movie reels in. I cut 2 of them in half and just tucked them in. There's nothing like that on here, but I just kind of felt like it needed a little something, because I didn't use, big pretty flowers like in the sketch. I use these rings that says all my heart, and there's butterflies and things like that. So I do love this paper. So this being the very last day of 30 Days of Sketches, I just want to say thank you to Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life for putting this together again. She is amazing. I want to thank all of the awesome creators who made the sketches and the ones who are following along to give us inspiration. I hope you'll check out the playlist and hop around and see all of that. I will have my 31 days of layout share coming up very soon. Have a great day and happy scrapping.